Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Unreal Engine tutorial on how to make a game like Breathedge. My name is Saragan, and Happy New Year to you all. It's been a little while since I've done my previous video, so I thought I'd get back on this because, you know, it's not going to finish itself. You might finish it, maybe. But today we're going to be looking at storage. Now, pretty much every game like Breathedge allows you to store things in a chest. And that's what we're going to look at today. So, where do we even start? Now, obviously here we created our storage component, and we did that in the previous, one of the previous tutorials. And in our character component, we also have a storage component added to it. So, you know, we have a player inventory. And this is pretty much just going to be the same thing. What we need to do is, what I will always do, is create a new class. You can just make this an actor, and we'll just call this base storage. And we create that into our C++, and then all we need to do is add our storage component to it, and then we can subclass it in here and add some visuals and some interaction if we want to. So go over to reload our project, and we have our base storage. So what I will do is just copy this into our base storage, which I'm going to put down here, and I'm going to move you up there, and we can get rid of that. And then that's just a little bit cleaner. Now, the same with our character. We need to create a default sub-object of type uStorage. So come into our base storage here, and we do need to include storage component. There we are. And then we need to decide what capacity to give it. Now, this is sort of dependent on how you want to do things. It is editable, so you can either set a base here, or you can set it as part of the begin play. The thing you just got to remember is in our begin play, not on our character, our storage component, you can see that we have that capacity that we're setting here. We'll loop over and add all these empty items. You need to bear in mind when we come to saving and loading, we need to preload the existing items. So there'll be also some additional stuff after this. But for the most part, this should just cater for itself. And that's really all we need to do for that. So we can Control Alt and F11 for the live coding build. Okay, so in here, no, I'm just going to create a new folder. I'm just going to call it stock. And I'm just going to move all of that in there so I can just get rid of that. Do we need the resources here? We can leave them there, that's no problem. So what do we need now? In our main folder, we can have a new folder, and I'll just call this storage. And new blueprint class. I really got to put my teeth back in. And we called this base storage. There we are. Base storage. And we'll call this chest. It's opening up onto the other screen. We don't really want to do that. So now you can see we have our storage component and we have our capacity we can change on the fly. Do not forget to set your data table, otherwise it won't know what items to go in there for. And we can add a static mesh or a skeletal mesh, and let's just set this to cube, SM cube. And then we can drag that into our level. In fact, let's get rid of these. And let's make that a little bit more chest-like. There we go. So now comes the thing of how we do our UI and everything else for that. We'll see if we can get to this, but we'll figure this out momentarily. We have this, which is just a basic interact, and there is a set space state, but we don't need to actually implement that. So what I want to do is, where is it? There we are. To copy this onto our base storage. And then we need these, which are coming into here. Just these two. Actually, just thinking about it, let's just grab them all. It's fine. We'll grab them all. And then on our resource, we just had these two here. Call those. And that means that once we build this, we can then interact with it as you would expect. Oh, lovely. It crashed. So let's just build this. Marvelous. Right, so we've now reloaded. Our chest is still here. If we edit this chest, bring that over, we should now have our interface. We don't need the set space, so that is fine. The interact for the moment, let's just have it print string, just to make sure that this is working. Pressing E, and we can interact. Marvelous. So now we need a UI for this. So let us come to here. Let's create a new folder called storage. And what we probably will be doing is something very similar to this. However, user interface, widget blueprint, user widget, and we're just going to call this storage. And I'm just going to copy all of this because pretty much most of this is going to be the same as I said. And this is going to be called storage. And on here, we have our initialize as our inventory render. So let's just copy in some of these variables. In fact, we don't need the BP character, we need storage component, and I am actually just going to get rid of these two, which is fine. We don't need the pre-construct and we don't need the tick. What we do need is on here, let's bring this in and let's just double check that's inventory box, that's fine. Items, that is going to be our storage comp. There we are. Capacity, that is also going to be our storage comp there. Update item, we don't have yet. We will need the drag and drop. I'm just going to copy in the initialize. Let's get this construct in. And remove what we don't need. We don't need any of that. This is going to be expose on spawn. That gets bound down here. Don't need that. And we have that. Now this update item. What are we missing? Just convert to purecast. When you copy these casts, they don't convert correctly, so you just gotta bear that in mind. But that's fine. So we now have pretty much all we need. We need to override the on drop, and this is pretty much again going to be the same. And it's not going to be inventory, it's going to be our storage comp. If we called it inventory, it probably would have been fine, but there's not really any need. So what are we missing? That needs to be pointer event. Yes, there we are. Cool. So on this interact, we need to create widget because I want to promote this to a variable, and we're going to call this storage UI. I'm going to have that to a validate get, not valid. And if we are valid, then we need to take that and add to viewport. The other thing we can probably do owning player needs to be get owner. Oh. Cast player controller. Oh yeah, probably should have that. And storage component is this. There we are. Do I even need that? No, I might be able to get away with that. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's play this. And we have our storage. We don't have anything to cancel out of that storage. I'm pretty sure it has been a little bit of time since I was on here, but I'm pretty sure oh, I did it this way. Must be thinking of another game that I've been working on. I usually have a function on here that basically shows the mouse cursor and things. So show cursor. Let's get rid of that. This needs to be set input mode UI only. And set to true. Now, is that just a character or... Well, show cursor. Just move this the way. There we are. So now when we interact with this, we have our mouse, which is fine. We don't have the close. Now, that's always a problem, certainly when it comes to input UI only. Where was the inventory? See, this is already setting things to false. Storage and chests and stuff, they are different in the sense that you can't put input stuff on here. And the UI can be a little bit finicky for recording inputs as well. So either you just need to put a close button, or we need to update the tab key, which is it just? Yeah, it's just tab for inventory to basically hide any UI as well. So I usually create a variable is shared, which I'm going to drag there. And if it's false, then do as normal. Now coming over to our chest here, we can now set is shared. But what we also want to do, if I just compile some of these, is come back to here to our interact. And just call hide interact. This does mean on our resource, we need another 2 of these. And it's pretty much just going to be that. On our base storage, we also need this. And in here, copy that to our resource CPP. Cool. So coming back into here, I'm going to have another variable called shared actor. This is going to be of type actor, object reference. And I'm going to grab that and call hide interact message. And this is just going to be self. And that means on our storage here. We can add our hide interact. And we just need to do this. Storage UI. Remove from parent. We also need our cast here. We could cast this to an actual variable, but it's not really worth it. And I'm just going to call hide inventory because that's pretty much does all that we need to. So hopefully this will now crash. Yay! The joys of game development. Crashes all the time. Yes, I do want to reopen everything I had before because I is busy. Right. So now we can't do anything. Why can't we do anything? Let's have a look. Let's just F9 here. And this is, again, I think probably because of this input thing. So lock movement. Add that to these. Let's try this again. Oh. Well, apparently they have implemented that for things. Okay, fair enough. In which case, gonna add another variable type actor in here. That's fine. Which we will also expose on spawn. And that was my dog going schizo. Right, so there we go, and I'm just going to call hide interact on this instead. In which case we can actually remove that for the time being. I'll leave it there. I'll just disconnect it. Shouldn't really need it. And that means on here, owner is self. Let's try this. Okay. We have owner. We'll just call get player character for the moment. There we are. No, that didn't hide the mouse afterwards. And only works once. Intriguing. Fire that down there as well. It's because it was a pre-existing widget. The owner or one of these values is probably not getting rebound. So for the time being, then we will just recreate that. I mean, it doesn't really cost a lot to do, so it's not really the end of the world. But for the most part, we actually have that. So if we have our storage component, my dog is waking up, which is lovely. So if I take that, what's this? Unique name is plastic, so I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that into here. The save. And then I'm just going to run through here, and then we have our plastic, which apparently is duplicating because it's the drag and drop. Doesn't know which inventory to remove it from. So that comes down to our UI. You see this is getting it from our player character, our owning player, rather than from our item owner, which I think should work if the item owners are being set correctly. So nope. Okay, why access none trying to read item owner. Right, so this item owner is not getting set correctly. That's fine. We will work on that then in the next video and fix that up. I think that's probably going to be it for this video. We've got a reasonable amount. We've still got some stuff to do. The drag and drop's obviously only tailored to the player when it should be tailored to whatever we're having. So the item owner in itself for our storage component, that item owner is not getting set correctly. So we'll need to follow that through and figure that out. And we can't see the player inventory when we come to this. We can only see the storage inventory. We need to be able to see the player inventory. So we'll need to modify our inventory here to display this one and this one, which we can do together. It's just a simple UI that contains both of them in a nice grid. And then you should be able to just drag and drop between the both of them once we fix our item owner issue. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. I will try and help finish this off for the next one, and hopefully then we can get on to crafting. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope to see you next time, guys. Bye for now. Bye-bye.